When using slings, whether it's chain slings, synthetic slings, wire rope slings, every single piece of rigging that you're going to be using needs to have a tag on it that shows the working load capacity of it, serial number, just a data tag, so you know that it's a legitimate piece of rigging, because chain is not chain. This is from an actual rigging place. If you go to Harbor Freight thinking chain's chain, you're gonna have an accident. So this right here says it's got a 22,900 pound working load limit at 60 degrees. So the thing about rigging is when you're lifting and you're at 60 degrees, you got 22,000 pounds. The more of an angle you go, like less and less more of an acute angle, the more strain that's on the sling legs. So this has a working limit of 22,900 pounds. If you're at 30 degrees, your capacity goes down to under 12,000. It's like 11,500 or thereabout. So make sure that you never go less than 30 degrees. Ideally, you're at 60. So you might have to use spreader bars or longer pieces of chain or wire rope, but never go less than 30. It puts too much strain on the sling. Rigging should only be used for its intended purposes. It's to move equipment, move materials within the capacity. This has a 22,900 pound limit, so you don't want to lift anything that weighs more than that. You need a heavier piece of rigging to get the job done. Never use rigging to get vehicles stuck on site. You don't know how much load you're actually putting on that chain. So if you ever use rigging or see somebody using rigging for recovery operations from vehicles on site, you've got to get it recertified to make sure that nothing got damaged in the process. So use something like a Bubba rope or the synthetic recovery straps that they sell, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, any of those places, but don't use your rigging for anything other than rigging purposes. Anytime you're lifting using rigging, you got to know the weight of what you're using. There's a lot of good calculators out there, a lot of apps. Certified Slings has one that we'll show you here shortly, where it takes the guesswork out of it. So know how much weight the object or the equipment is that you're lifting, know the capacities of the rigging that you're using, and also know the capacity of the machine that you're attempting to lift it with. If the machine doesn't have the capacity to lift it, it can roll over, you can damage the equipment, hurt somebody or kill somebody. So make sure everything is in balance. Check it. A lot of times, if you don't have a calculator with you, call the manufacturer. If it's rebar, you can call the rebar company. Just take the time to know the weights before you lift to avoid the accidents. When you're doing the inspections, you're checking every single link on this bridle, which happens to be a 4-way. As you know the old saying, you're only strong as the weakest link. If you have a leak break, you have a severe accident. And there's some general contractors that don't allow you to sling chain rigging on site. They want to see wire rope because it's a lot easier to see bird caging or splintering on a piece of cable than it is a bad piece of chain. If you have one crack or one bad link, it's going to blend in with the rest. So inspecting these takes a little bit longer. You're checking the master link, making sure this isn't warped, damaged, anything like that. And one of the biggest issues on every piece of rigging on site is the safety latches. These are Sherlock hooks. We switched from the normal, the cheap little flimsy spring ones, because it falls off, get damaged all the time. So these are a lot more durable, easier to use, longer lasting. So inspect it, make sure it locks. If this opens up without engaging the side, let your superintendent know. Don't use it. Get it fixed or get a new one on site. But you don't want to just throw this in the job trailer or the Connex without telling anybody. You might know that it's got an issue, but somebody else might just grab it, might not know how to inspect it, use it, and get injured. So make sure you're tagging it out and letting people know so we can get the right equipment out here for you guys. When it comes to rigging and actually attaching the slings to the forklift, you always want to use what they call like a Hercules lift or some type of forklift attachment. This one slides onto the forks and tightens with these wing nuts to make sure it's not going to slide off. It also has a retriever lanyard right here that you connect to the mast. So just in case the forks angle forward, it's going to stop it from sliding all the way off. And as you can see, they've got it right here, about 2 feet from the mast, right where it needs to be, 24 inches. So always connect it, make sure it's snug. If it's damaged, don't use it. And if you ever see guys using the 4-ways, they got the master links. The master links on the fork like this is real slippery. So if those forks angle just a little bit, barely any force, it slides right off. So that's why you always got to use the forklift attachment, make sure the safety latch is working, it's secure, and when you're done with the rigging, pick it up off the ground and store it properly.